the draft strategic plan. And I'm going to get into that in a minute of what that is, but that's the main thing that we've been working on, is working with staff to prepare a strategic plan to help guide and focus what they're doing for the short term. This is an interesting thing where we're basically an extension of you folks and of staff to present back to you what your goals are. So look at it different than me presenting a design. This is like you really get into what do we want to try to accomplish in the next few years here at Elverta. We have met a couple times with staff to get their thoughts on it, on what their goals were based on what they're trying to get done. Those have been wrapped into it. We've also gone through your Park and Rec Master Plan, which has so much good effort both in with the community and in the document that was prepared. And we took a lot of the things that came out of that in the short-term goals and put those into this. So look at this as something that we're building upon those. The goals are very similar to what was in those because we're just building upon that. Strategic planning is building upon your big, giant, long-term master plan and helping to guide what's the more short-term goals on things, okay? So it's a little different than what you're used to seeing if I'm presenting like a design and asking for feedback. I'm going to be asking you to look at each one of these different goal sections and help us to prioritize, help us to see if there's anything maybe missing that need to be added to it. But that'll help us, or even narrow it down. Some of these lists, we have like 5 or 6 points under some of these because that came out of the master plan. And in the short term, it'd be great if under each one of these goals we had like 3 or 5 really hot, these are the highest priorities, so that staff then knows how to focus on it as we go forward, okay? So, diving in, what's the difference between a master plan and a strategic plan? Your master plan, that focuses on, you look at all your facilities you have, and then you go out to the public and you find out what all the needs are, and then you start putting together a plan that says, hey, here's where the deficiencies are in the future needs of the community. You put together this very long-term plan to start helping decide what facilities or what improvements need to be made. So it's much more parks oriented. Now your master plan is great. It has a lot of programming stuff in it too, but in general that's what a master plan is. So think of that as long term, more like what are we doing for our facilities. When you probably remember, you look at your master plan in the back, it literally lists like each park. Like here's all the different projects and all the park improvements. A strategic plan now, that's your 3-year to 5-year short term, and it folds in programming too. Like what do we want to expand our programming on some certain aspects, or maintenance, or some of those type of things. It starts talking about more like what are some of the short term action plan that we want to focus on. So in general, I have this summary statement. The result is a framework for decision making, providing a clear strategic direction for the organization to follow in achieving its vision. The strategic plan provides an action plan to help the organization achieve targeted goals. So what's neat about this is the goal is, as you click off each year, hopefully you get to pull this back up of this thing that we're going to prepare for you, and you can see how do we do? How do we do over this year? How do we do over the next 3 years? And you guys know people's focus changes so much. What's nice about this is you can always go back to this and say, remember that hard work that staff did and then came and talked and the board stamp? You'll have a good roadmap to help with staff so they know what their clear direction is over the short term. Doesn't mean after a few years you can change direction, but I think that would help you, and I think that's our charge, is to like help clearly lay out what this roadmap is in the next 3 to 5 years. Make sense? Okay. What I'm going to do probably is I'm going to roll through what the difference is, what the goals are, and what the items are, and then you recommended that we then go to the public on that. Do you want me to handle that part of it? Or
if you want to just keep that rolling right with your presentation, that would be great. At any time, we can weigh in if we want to. So
it's open, so I can take any comments from anybody at that point, and then we can turn it back over to the more formal part of it later.
Perfect.
Yep, no problem. Okay, great. So in the master plan, there were 6 goals. I found some similarities enough to recommend to Mike and the staff to narrow it down to 5. So these are 5 goals that come right out of your overall Park and Rec master plan. So number 1, it was really important for the community to work on connectivity and accessibility. Create easy access to parks, better paths, better trails, bike lanes. Prioritize pedestrian and cyclists instead of cars. Enhance safety, add lighting, signage, like helping communicate, helping direct, helping to have better access to our parks in Rio Linda. Next is health, wellness, and inclusion. Promote physical and mental well-being through diverse recreational opportunities. Ensure parks are inclusive and accessible for all ages and abilities. Offer affordable programs and spaces for active recreation, relaxation, and community engagement. That's the second main goal. Third main goal is resilience and economic development. Create community hubs that support social connections and local economic growth. Focus on sustainability in park operations and resource management. Seek external funding partnerships and grants to support park development. You see how that one has how do we get the most we have with our dollars and help maintain our parks economically, and find ways to find more money. Great goal. Next one is talking about the community character and engagement. How do we integrate culture, art, history into parks to reflect this great community? How do the parks and all these services are reflected reflect the community that it serves? And how do we engage the public through events, art installations, and educational programs? Foster pride and ownership in parks through meaningful community-focused experiences. So that's getting character and building up the character of the parks. And then the last one is finding partners to work with. I think this is one of the things that, especially talking to staff, that we need to keep trying to find partners to help. Not just people who want to use your facilities, but that want to partner with you on things. Build partnerships with local clubs, businesses, schools, and agencies to enhance services. Promote volunteer involvement and neighborhood park stewardship. Secure funding and improve resources through collaborations with external stakeholders. With me so far on all this? Still reflect, you guys know we're talking about this. I'm basically presenting you back your overall park and rec master plan, right? So hopefully we got that now, okay? So now, as I said a second ago, the next step was we met with staff, showed some things out of the master plan, got their list, and then came up with 2 lists. Okay, so this is the work for this evening. Once we narrow these down, we're then going to put them into a document that's longer than this. It's going to have some information about like what we heard from you tonight. It's going to talk about some of the what's special about Rio Linda. And it'll turn into, like most of you have seen what a strategic plan is. It'll be like an 8 or 9, 10-page strategic document that you can then have to carry with you. So we'll take the information from tonight. We're then going to prepare this document, and then we'll send it back and make sure we've heard you. Okay. So it's broken in, and if you turn in your pages, you'll see in the packets that I sent you, or if you want to look at it up here, you can see it's still same color coded on 2 boards with those 5 goals. Okay. If you notice, like on this one, it's missing. Because on this one, when the parks, that goal 4 was more about programs. So you see there's 4, goal 4 is over here on this board. The 2 difference of these boards, this is more park or facility oriented, and this board or this thing is this chart is more about programs. Okay. On the right column, if you're looking at projects, you'll see that there's actual parks in your facilities where those have been earmarked for. So we like to get input on that. And then if you see over here on programs, you see they're kind of set up in the different ways that the district is set up. Either it's programs or operations and maintenance. So it's set up like that, okay? So I'm going to roll through each one of these. And then I'll open it up for comments after that, okay? So we start looking at, everybody wants to start talking about what are we, the facilities first. That seems to be a high priority, so I'm going to start with that one. Seems above all else, in listening to staff and looking at the master plan, it seems like one big, to meet a lot of goals and to create a community hub and a facility that really needs, and it's a great opportunity site, is looking at the Central Park Horse Arena and what does that site want to be. Also is like, how do we look at grant funding application in 2025? I know that's on the forefront of Mike's mind, we were even talking about it at CPRSA. How can we still get in front of the state, find ways to get grant funding to build facilities? And then third is one of your other big opportunity areas is the Grand Park. And continue to work with that team because that's your forward thinking. That's the future, where the growth's going to go and where some great opportunities for facilities out there. So we have those up here as those seem to be pretty clear, like big goals on both boards and throughout what we read. But I'm happy to take comments on that too. Okay? So goal number one, in the short term, how do we improve connectivity and accessibility? I actually have 2 points, the first one and the last one that kind of go together. There's already money in your budget that you guys put together each year to continue to work on ADA upgrades, park accessibility, parking lots, better signage and sidewalks. So that seems to be like a good goal in the short term to continue to fund and promote and work on better connectivity there. The second is specifically for the Central Park and Horse Arena, consider improving the connection between Roy E. Hayer Park and the Central Park to share parking and restrooms and encourage high schoolers to walk over between those two facilities at that area. Provide additional bike racks at Babe Best Park and West Side Park and create better connections to Dry Creek frontage for an additional natural park element over at North Brook Park. So those would be how to, in the short term, some ways on some of the facilities to get some better connectivity and accessibility. Goal number 2, increasing health, wellness, and inclusion. There you see it again, that Central Park Horse Arena. I won't go through all those. You can see them. You guys have talked about in other meetings. I've talked with you folks about other meetings. But it's all those really great amenities that can help center that and create a place to promote health, wellness, and inclusion in that when that's master plan. Look at a playground upgrade at Babe Best Park, which would include a barrier between the parking lot and the playground, planting, shade, and some seating for that playground. Also at Babe Best Park, create a shaded picnic area to encourage families and others to use the park during ball games and separate from the ball field. The community center park, reestablish picnic tables and amenities for families and community activities there. Moraga Park, add benches and to the walking path. At Roy E. Hayer Park, update or replace restrooms. At North Brook Park, sometimes my glasses, the lines, I cannot mark. Add natural play features at North Brook Park. And then last, at the community center, ensure the lobby that's there is welcoming and encourages community membership to visit and eat at that facility. So those are ones that help promote health, wellness, and inclusion. So you see, it's a lot of it has to do with providing more amenities or better, more welcoming, nicer looking. That skills are tied up in there. The next one is this back to the money thing and sustainability, resilience and economic development. Add video surveillance on all parks. It seems to be a goal to get input on. Next one is on the community center park. Update and expand community garden in partnership with local gardeners. Explore community partnerships for maintenance and improvement of a pollinator garden and potential other demonstration gardens. So that seems to be a push. I really like those, of course, from the landscape architect. Those are all great community builders. And they're nice a lot of times because they're self-sustaining because you have the people that are gardening actually taking care of those many times. And then add signage about the tree program and stewardship of the trees, and that would be at Northbrook Park. And then last, when we're looking for partnerships and volunteerism, number 1, flood management solutions. Work with Rio Grande Elverta Community Water District and County of Sacramento and Flood Control District, and that would be like a Central Park Horse Arena and Roy Horror Park to help get some good synergy on doing some flood management in those facilities. At Babe Best Park, consider expanding partnerships with the adjacent church to provide additional recreation features on the unused church property. And then last is at Roy E. Hayer Park. Work with the concessionaire to improve access to quarter midget track for the public and to increase use. So I've just gone a lot. I don't know, Mike, do you think we want to stop at one before I do the other and take comments here, or keep dragging through?
No, I think we should do one and the next.
Well, we can do one. We can talk about the parks and improvements to parks, and then we can switch to programs. So, hopefully you kept up with me there, but I'm happy to answer questions or take comments on what you think out of this list, things that may need to have priority, things that may need to be added, things like that. Yes?
I have a question. The update and expand community garden, what, do we have a community garden?
We have a butterfly garden, so it's not actually, we were planning on community gardens at one of the other parks, and it just never happened when we were redesigning West 5. But we have a butterfly garden here, so it's more of the community aspect, and that's over at the community center. And that was on a first 5 grant that I believe is on a 15-year grant, but I don't know, I still become filling out paperwork on it every year. So. But we definitely, that was part of the discussion in Central Park. Part of the rehab in Central Park finally comes around, which that's what we're chasing right now. So it's in the works. We don't actively have it right now, but we would like one.
So you like,
I like that idea.
so
Community garden.
I got a vote for pushing the community.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can add a vote from the board.
Here's one, Fair Oaks Park has a community garden, like real close to the park, and I've been there.
It was on the scope of one of our former Prop 68 grant applications that we had an interview with the application. The director Morris and I went out on that one. That was before COVID, it was a while ago, and we never got funded on it.
Yeah, and also, I forgot to say, if there's any you think that could be lower priority too, if you guys see any of these, that would help, because some of these lists are long, and even when I was talking with staff, it'd be nice to get like 2 or 3 in each one of these. So I'm also happy if you see any ones that maybe could go lower priority, we could want that. Yes?
On the community center park, we established picnic tables and amenities. What do you mean by the amenities?
A lot of times that's kind of budget driven and then community driven. So I think what would end up happening, speaking for staff, if the board and you folks think it's a priority, we know there's some picnic tables and some smaller amenities that's needed, but I think they would also be happy at talking about that. There's other things needed at that park, right? Yeah. But I think the focus and the need right now is some of those things that are listed.
Like playground structures, is that part of the
I
amenities?
think it's not currently, but we can list it and bring it up to talk to them about it. Is that fair? Yeah, yeah.
Where's Northbrook Park?
Yeah, yeah, where is Northbrook Park, by the way?
Our best kept secret. For a small fee, we can know. Northbrook is actually basically in the neighborhood across from Watt Avenue from Center High School.
What's that, the Northbrook neighborhood? It's actually, our Northbrook Park is north of that Antelope Greens golf course, the little one that's on the east side of the creek. And then Northbrook Park is behind that, directly behind that. And it actually is right across from Gibson Ranch.
Across the creek, yes.
The northeast corner of Gibson Ranch is across the creek from Northbrook Park.
You have to go through the housing.
You cannot see the park from Watt Avenue. You have to go through.
So who asked that?
Well, I
It's,
asked for
well, that's
Kathy.
inadvertently you're doing, I think you're giving us a vote for better signage and accessibility to the park.
Right,
Right
well,
off the
same,
Google Mine Mountain.
where's Moraga Park?
Moraga is, excuse me, the new housing development across, directly across Elverta from the Walmart. They built 162 properties in there, and part of the developer deal is when they started to build, they had to put in a park. Well, they had a detention basin, so they sold that to us as a park. Not sold, that was given to us by the developers, but it's basically a detention basin.
In the new Walmart houses?
Not on the south side,
sorry.
on the north side of Alberta Road. There's another development on the south side, but the Moraga Park is on the north side
Okay,
of Alberta Road,
in that housing tract.
in that new housing tract.
It would feel weird to go in there and use.
No, just drive in. You'll go right to the park. You can't hardly avoid it.
Right, but if I were to stop and use the park, it would feel weird. It would feel like it's their park.
Well, and to a certain extent it is. I mean, that's what it's intended for. But, I mean, there's no reason why people who aren't in that development can't use that park.
That's,
Northbrook has a playground in there. It was one of the first projects I had when I came on board. That's well taken care of. They've got some exercise equipment. They've got a half-court basketball, a couple walking paths up to the creek. It's actually it's one of, if you ask anybody on our park staff, it's their favorite park.
Okay.
And it's really overseen by the community association in that general community, so we don't have very many challenges or issues with it. No homeless.
Yeah, I love
They
that.
lock it up on their own, they take care of it and work in partnership with us. If there's a problem, we know about it immediately, and we're usually on it the same day.
See,
Yeah.
I'd love to take Theo around and find a good park.
You'll like that one.
And maybe one of the things we could put on our list of programs and things to do, maybe once a year, we could have a community tour of the parks, where we could take anybody from the community who wants to visit parks and wants to know where the parks are, take you on a tour.
Yeah.
Maybe have a box lunch or something to go
Yeah.
with
And maybe
just-
evaluate them or
and make a
something.
whole day
Yeah.
of touring our parks, and then the community would know where they are.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
So I have two things.
Yes.
One, it would be awesome, since we have a lot of loose dogs around, it would be great to like try to incorporate more dog areas in the parks, or just dog parks in general.
Agreed, dog park.
That would be awesome. And then the app video surveillance on all parks. So with that being said, which I do think is a good idea, because we do have kind of more like street people. I don't know, if, you know, people unhoused.
Unhoused.
Thank you.
Unhoused population.
September this year.
Is more lighting planned to be involved with all these
Yeah.
upgrades and
Yeah.
stuff.
Good idea.
Because I definitely think everything needs a lot more lighting.
We have that in
Good
here.
suggestion.
I had it on here.
I didn't see anything in regards to lighting.
Well, I'm gonna write it down just to make sure I get it. Lighting. I thought it was on there, so that's good.
I may have missed it.
No, that's good.
Dog park is in here, under the central park thing, but we do need more. You're right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. This is great. Anything else?
Yeah, I definitely like the shaded picnic areas.
Shaded picnic areas.
Gathering stuff for people.
Shade is good. Do you folks see anything that, maybe could go one of the lower priorities on the list? If you wanted, if staff was to focus on some higher priority, would you listed anything maybe that goes in a lower priority? Or does everything look good and needs to be a priority?
A suggestion.
Yes.
You had said about the community gardens. My friend is in the Master Gardeners Club. Could talk to them, maybe they'd like to come out and
That's a partnership.
partnership.
Yep.
There's thousands of them, those type of groups around.
Especially if they have a checkbook, we welcome them.
Yes.
Yes, they are free.
Yeah. We just are doing one for Westside, and they're involved, and that's good. It's a good group, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe more garbage cans around.
Garbage.
That would be more work though for Park and Rec to empty them.
Board?
I don't know who put it together, but I think the line of it, now you got it down here, is really capturing what we've been talking about the last couple of years. In the order we want it to go in. The Central Park, to me, is definitely, and Higher Park, the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the one area, but the two separate parks across the bridge, the whole area. I think needs a lot of attention, whatever that happens. And the rest of it, I think, kind of falls in line.
That's good, that's good. Hater, unlike the restaurant and stuff, I know we talked about that.
Bet on one thing on that as well as the public art piece, especially with the restrooms, to try to combat graffiti
Specifically
vandalism.
murals on them.
Say that again?
Public art to try to combat the graffiti and vandalism.
Murals on the walls of our public buildings.
Yeah, I've been downtown in a bit, and it was like today when I was driving down there, how many murals were down there? It's cool, it's a great way to do that. Discourage vandalism.
Yep. It really does.
Yeah. And brings pride. Yeah.
I got 2 questions.
Well, hold on before I can hear it. Oh, you want to?
Right
Yeah, go ahead.
now, is there a way to get a restroom at Higher Park?
It's on the scope, with the grants that we're going to be writing. So, because the current one is closed permanently, it's not a safe building right
I know.
So-
We have our Ducky Derby coming up, and we did have somebody bring their trailer in to use the bathroom, but she's gone, and now I don't have a bathroom.
Yeah, that's some.
That's that there, but double
It
checks.
costs money, and it
Yeah.
takes money away from our
Yeah,
fundraiser.
restrooms are needed.
They're not cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 questions. One is, under the ensure lobby is welcoming and encourages community members to visit and meet. Were there any ideas, or is that just more of like, we need to work on that and come up with ideas?
Correct. I think if you think it's a priority, that would let staff know they need to help start working on that in the next couple of years. Like, how do we do that?
Okay,
And I think there's many opportunities that we can talk with you folks about on that.
okay. That came.
Do you like that idea?
No, it was more of just
Questioning?
questioning it. Yeah, it was just questioning it.
Okay.
See if you already had ideas for it. Yeah, I was interested in hearing it if you did. But personally, I do like the thought process of having a dog park at the Central Park Horse Arena when it's not in use.
Even
Or
where
just-
it is in use, yeah.
Yeah.
A permanent
Or
dog park there.
yeah.
Yeah, some area where
Is
they,
it that kind of?
There's plenty of room.
There's one over at West Side, and then there'll be one over on.
and that
so
kind of
it's
splits the
staggered.
area, yes. And not only that, but when there are events there, I mean, we don't do it anymore. We used to do gymkhanas there like 20 a year, which would be like sometimes 2 a weekend for the whole season, which usually lasted from about October through, from April through October. But the bottom line is, most people who go over to Central Park Arena have dogs with them. That is very, very obvious when you go out there and see people there. They bring their dogs there. It's a really open area, and you can't help but bring your dog.
Maybe a good place to capture that. Yeah.
It would be, yeah.
I like it. I like it. And that, to step into that, just like I just answered with the lobby, that would be a whole process that everybody would include it in, even on that Central Park, like we did when we were working on the last applications with, and presented to you ideas on that. So I think that'd be a real fun process to go through as we start developing that plan too. If we're lucky enough to hold it, whoever is. Anything else? Yeah.
I like the signage idea.
Okay.
I think, a lot of us don't pay attention, but if there are signs out there, particularly if we're adding picnic tables and amenities to increase rentals and increase revenue, I think that's a very smart idea. And to let people know what is and is not acceptable at other parks.
Yeah, signage is really good because you start putting nice park signs with your logo on it, and this is our facility. Even these areas that may seem like they're only belonging to a neighbor, even the neighbors realize, oh wait, this is actually community. The whole signage is big on that. Yeah. It's great, great. Somebody can, have a good idea. Okay, well, I didn't hear any, and it's okay if we don't drop any off, that's fine. I think I got checks and thoughts on the higher ranked things. If you guys are okay, I'm going to switch to programs. Unless anybody else has any other comments or thoughts or questions. Is this going good so far? Is everybody keeping up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
So this goes more on the program side of things, okay? Let's switch back over here again. So goal number 1, or goal number 2 now, because there wasn't, like I said, in some of these goals they don't cross. We'll combine them all so they'll be under each goal. But on programs, we mainly start hitting that, and our health, wellness, and inclusion is big time when we're talking about programs. So first one under programs is expand programming, and I know staff wants to do that too, so hopefully that's a good unanimous one. But expand programming for adults, families, seniors, youth, and children with special needs, master swimming, cooking, art, music, mommy and me, exercise, pickleball, tai chi, painting, STEM, outdoor recreation, adoptive recreation, performing arts, painting, nature walks. Maybe we'll just add gardening right on there.
Should adoptive be adaptive? Isn't that supposed to be adaptive recreation?
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Thank you. I think that is a misspelling. Adaptive recreation. That's a whole different thing. Adoptive.
it is, well, when I saw adoptive, I thought, that can't be right.
You know where they have adoptive recreation? Is on Maui. You can go over there and adopt a pet for a day. It's like a cool program. You can go over there and take the dog on an adventure and decide if you want to adopt it and take it home. I thought that's a cool program.
That is cool.
Okay, so next one is enhance summer camp experience. Improve the 5-session camp structure, add more engaging activities, and increase community partnership for field trips. I like the idea of field trips. Now, next one, explore options for off-season training programs for all the various sports. Like keep pushing other off-season training programs for that. Continue the district's high-quality maintenance to ensure that parks are attractive and welcoming. This one's near and dear to me. Please keep the maintenance part as a high priority. I can't tell you how many clients that I'm dealing with, especially when budgets start getting tight. That's one of the places they start going to. This is so important here with the community to keep supporting maintenance and programming in your parks. That's one, and it just really shows community pride. So now I'm showing you what my preference is, and I don't live here. Goal number 3, resilience and economic development. Incorporate green infrastructure to address stormwater management at Central Park and Horse Arena, Warrior Hair Park, and Westside Park. Help with stormwater quality, stormwater management. That's always good program to increase tree planting in the parks. That goes along with your shade shelters. More trees in the parks can provide more shade and mitigate increasing heat events. And I'll add to this my thought on this. Planting new trees in parks that have old trees is always good because those old trees may not last forever. So if you can keep investing in your tree program, when some of the older trees go away, you'll have other ones ready to rock and roll. Goal number 4, community character engagement. Expand offerings of community events, improve event experience through better planning, logistics, and engagement, boost participation awareness through digital marketing, outreach, partnerships. I think that goes a lot with communicating your parks. And underneath this same thing, I think we can add that murals to help with the graffiti thing, some of those kind of programs. Goal number 5, partnerships and volunteerism. Strengthen participation in youth and adult sports leagues, basketball, volleyball, dodgeball, etc. Those are always great partnerships to go on. Kids always need things to do. Ensure a smooth aqua nights, swim team,
Yes.
yeah, aqua nights, swim team season. Equipment, updated computer, volunteer coordination. So I know there's a push on that, so some support on that. That's what we're looking for on that, see if we're all on board with that. Work with county agencies to address issues of homelessness that impact the district's parks and the county's trails that connect to the parks. Expand and enhance existing partnerships with county agencies, school districts, non-profits, and private sector entities. And then explore opportunities for new partnership to expand recreation opportunities for district residents. I think that's one of the probably double underlines people looking for new partnerships. So a lot of times they bring in funding and help too, right? So those are those. So what do we think on those?
We need
Anyone that
money.
stand out? Huh?
We need money.
Yep, that's good.
We need money.
That's good.
We need money
Yeah.
to support those.
Yep.
That's right.
Today?
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
A lot of
That's good. That's good.
more dollars.
A few more? Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal.
And I know staff's really, you guys are fortunate that you got staff that have good relationships with state on future grants coming, so I know there's effort going to be help to try to start getting some grant money too. So it's good to get competitive on that, on those grants, right? It's where a lot of money opportunities are. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, it's your birthday today. Yeah, it is. Your birthday.
A birthday.
Yeah, birthday in a row.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's my favorite holiday.
That's a good day to be born.
It's
so,
a big-
huh?
Thank you for letting me point it out.
Yeah, thank you.
Sometimes I'm a little too transparent.
On the expanded program?
Yes.
Yeah, pickleball there, would that include the possibility of getting permanent pickleball?
We could write it down. Expanding pickleball, a possibility.
Courts.
Courts, yeah.
The courts, well, they're painted, they're great for that.
That's cool.
That's being or there. I think someone worked really hard already on the duel and the tennis courts and the pickleball. That's quite a thing.
Well, I think pickleball has really taken over entirely in terms of use. I don't see nearly as many people lobbing tennis balls as I do pickleball. Pickleball seems to be the rage. So I totally agree that, you know,
Pickleball.
yeah, definitely.
That's good.
Until the fad passes.
It's
And
probably
it
not
will.
going to anytime soon.
No, it seems to be gaining, not lessening.
And I guess Ben on that one is identify a location for it as well.
Yeah,
We've got an existing tennis court here that is mostly pickleball now, but it's not nearly big enough, and we
Right.
get a dedicated spot,
and there isn't a lot of room to expand
not there.
there, but we could find, yeah, we do need to identify an
That's
area.
I think that came along probably just after you guys are doing all your outreach on the master plan, right? So probably because now I think
Pickleball
it's
surged
huge.
right after that.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good pickup.
And just not near any residences.
What's
Well,
that?
as far from residents as possible,
Yeah.
because the point, point gets real annoying to the residents.
I think that's why it works where it's at.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, that's one of the reasons, yes.
Where is it at?
It's right behind the community center.
Oh, yeah, it's a great spot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe look at some other locations for that.
Could you just turn the tennis court into, paint it all over, pickleball right
You
there?
can.
Dedicated in.
But that's something we need to explore, because there's somebody in the audience who love those tennis courts, so we'd have to, but it's usually that's a good mix, like, try to figure out how much need is there in tennis, and how many courts aren't being used, and then maybe repurpose some of those, or reuse. You said you have them dual use, that's awesome. I think
Yes,
those-
that whole area where the tennis court is entirely pickleball
Okay,
also.
okay.
So, it's definitely dual use. But like I said, I don't see too many tennis players out there.
There's tennis players on the court for pickleball, and they come out to play tennis, and then they're like, oh, pickleball. And
Now they're pickleball
They would
fans.
go in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I see a hand back here.
Yeah, I raised.
Yes.
it, But I didn't know
Sorry.
where it would fall. I don't know if it would actually be covered with just kind of the revamping of everything to where the walk paths would be smooth or anything, but I like the roller skate. So it'd be nice to have like a place to be able to actually like roller skate without.
Smooth pavement.
Yeah, without movement.
Roller skate, like roller skate, not roller blade, roller skate.
Roller skate without
That's cool.
obstacles.
That's making a resurgence too. Yeah, roller skate area. Okay.
One of the challenges with that is we'd have to dedicate a space as well if we were to do it with the district, because both of the paths, one belongs to county parks, the other one belongs to the Department of Transportation.
The big
Which
path.
would explain why the one that belongs to DOT's got a lot of potholes.
You had to say that.
There's some interesting challenges.
Then under resilience and economic development, for the stormwater management, the first goal,
Yeah.
West Side isn't much of a priority there. I may have misspoken when we met originally. It's more Moraga and Northbrook because they're adjacent to a creek. And Moraga is a detention basin.
Moraga.
And Northbrook, because they're adjacent to the dry creek.
That's good.
West Side doesn't have a creek coming through there, it just flows.
Yeah, I should know that. Yeah, you're right.
And the flooding at Central Park Horse Arena is really unavoidable because of where it's located. It is actually the low end of the basin. The Dry Creek, many people don't know this, but the Dry Creek watershed is the largest watershed in Northern California. And it all funnels it comes from as far as Newcastle and Auburn, straight down to that horse arena. I mean, that's where the low point is. It spreads out and it runs across in the southwest direction to the levee. So there's just not a whole lot of mitigation
No,
you
no.
can do
There's
there.
a lot of water.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But second, I think there's a river underneath that fall.
Yeah.
They dust, the fields are built around, bring.
Yes, yeah.
Higher part,
Mhm.
it's got the creek going right to it. Everything is.
Everything funnels, we are at the low end,
Yeah,
so,
that's
it's.
why a lot of the soils are good out there.
Yeah, you can activate best because we have a stream going through there as well,
Okay.
behind one of the fields. Also, under partnership and volunteerism, we can drop the second goal for the Aqua Nights. We spoke before they started meeting. They're up and running. We can actually drop that.
You can drop that. It's already, see, that's the kind of goals we need. We're already done.
Done.
Good job.
Achieved. Met the goal.
See, I mean, to pause for a second, that's what you want. In a year, you want to come back and like, hey, look what we've accomplished this year. Let everybody know. It's good. What gets measured gets done, is what my grandma always said. I think that's good. Anything else? Everything look good? Everybody like
I
it?
have something to say.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering if we could have more adult programs for like the cooking. I see you have all that on here.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there was a fee for it, I don't know, we have like the Tai Chi and we have stuff that's free. But even if we have to pay a fee for it to be able to have that opportunity to do an exercise class or cooking or art or anything like that.
And I was thinking that with the cooking class, we do have a, master preservers, that is over in UC Davis, I believe, I'm not positive. But there's some kind of master preservers. I think I can find out more about it through the Grange, I'm not sure. But I was always thinking that we have a certified kitchen. So if we could develop a cooking class like one day a week.
Talking about it right now, we've been meeting with our JPA tomorrow, so we'll find out if it's feasible.
Okay.
It's not designed as a teaching kitchen. There's no mirrors on the ceiling, so you can see what's going on. But with the island, we could do small classes.
Yeah, and that's all we, yeah. And again, and I concur with what Cindy said about having a fee, just a reasonable fee. I mean, because the truth is that our park district does not have a lot of money. And so we can't afford to do everything for free. We try to do as much as we can, but we can't do everything.
Yeah.
Right.
There's value to it, what you're providing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your workout class.
I know, but I have to do it free.
No,
Yeah.
no, charge.
No, they come here because it's free though.
Oh,
Talk
no,
about
I
class.
she does, yeah, she does a class on Tuesday and Thursday for exercise.
She's
And I
trying
think that it would be great to get it involved with the park and recs.
I mean, I would love to do that.
Do
but it
that
has to
and
be free.
No.
It started out free.
Donation,
Oh,
yeah,
What is
donation.
STEM? What is
No
STEM?
hitting, no hitting.
What is STEM?
STEAM.
Science,
STEAM, I mean.
It says STEM.
It's STEAM.
Okay, what is
Yeah, it's science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
Ah.
Those core programs, yeah.
Yeah, they do it in schools. They do it,
Oh, you didn't know that, Captain Sherwood?
I've never seen that.
They do it at the
I heard
library.
those.
Yeah.
They didn't have that in Orlando when we went to school.
I didn't have it when I went to school.
Huh?
I didn't have it when I
I
went to
don't remember it when I was here.
school. Trust me, and you're a lot younger than I am. But yes, science, technology, engineering, and math.
Huh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good, that's great. It is pronounced STEAM, though.
Yes.
I've been saying STEM too long.
I think it's pronounced STEM. Yeah, I think STEM is what I think. I've never
I
heard
don't know.
STEAM.
I could be wrong.
STEAM has an H.
Yeah. All right, well, this is good.
I do Wordle, I'm telling you.
I guess, yeah.
I was just making sure everybody in the audience had kind of talk and everything. Under resilience and economic development, the increased tree planting in parks. Yeah, I guess this is more of a question. Is there a possibility to do some fruit trees?
We could always give it a try. I don't particularly think it's a great idea, but we can always give it a try.
One of the things we have been doing is every time we lose a tree, we put two up. We're also working closely with the Sac Tree Foundation and SMUD They have a grant program that we've been eligible for a number of times, so all the new trees that we put up at the West Side Dog Park came out of that Tree Foundation grant. We put up 6 new seedlings out in Depot Park through the center spine last summer. That all came through the Sac Tree Foundation, so we've got a really good working relationship with them. And the one thing with, even through the drought, through board guidance and through a really good parks team, we didn't lose any trees. So we're keeping
And
the
I
trees
think that's
green.
outstanding.
Yeah, and because we're keeping them green, we're keeping them in shade through the last 3 winters and the tremendous windstorms that we get once or twice a year, we've lost 1 tree. We hear about park districts who have to go to FEMA and OES who are losing 20, 30, 40 trees at a time. We've lost 1 tree. So eventually the other shoe will drop, but right now our trees are in great shape. And as I said, when we lose one, we plant 2.
And Director Bloom, fruit trees are good paired up with your community garden efforts too. Like a lot of,
That's kind of what I was.
yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, sometimes when you put them in parks, most of your fruit trees don't live long. Any flowering tree usually only has like 25, 30 year lifespan, and they're usually messy. So it's hard because it's a good idea. But if you could put them in a community garden where people are always there cleaning up, it's not on grass or near sidewalks, it's a good match for fruit trees. So maybe that's something to do.
It's also the root system we need to look at as well. We get straight down as a.
Well, they can only go up, the straight down is hard, man.
Yeah, wow.
But I've seen like parts of parks set aside where it's not where they have to mow and maintain, to put like a little orchard in there. There's different ways to do it, but it's hard to just like start lacing them through your park. But if you do it targeted, it's good. It's good. Cool, great question.
I have another one.
Yes.
So, are we in charge, or park supervisors, everybody's free, are we in charge of the bike trail as far as trees and shrubs and all that along the bike trail that come through community center, right through like from here all the way through to
We
Central
are
Park?
not, but we have assisted the Department of Transportation with that in the past.
So if they lose a tree, for instance, along that trail, do they come out and replace the trees?
Depends,
Really?
yes.
But we don't.
Depends on how much complaining they hear.
Oh.
And then they'll send county regional parks out to help them with that. But yeah, we do not. But if it's blocking the trail or if it's become a danger or there's something dangling, we'll attend to it before they know, before they do, and we'll let them know.
No, it's good. I was just encouraging when people showed up. These are awesome for showing up. It's great.
Yes.
Follow-up question. So is it possible then that if we note some tree on the path in general, to bring it to you and then you'll take it?
Yeah, let our office know. We'll talk to our Parks Department, and it's something we can handle before Department of Transportation comes out. We will assist them with that.
It also depends on location.
Yeah.
Right, I just meant as far as like reporting, where's the best place to report it?
If it's 311 normally,
Oh, yeah.
but as Ms. Shermer had said, if it's between the nexus of this park with the community center park, you can let us know as well, because if it's a danger to residents, we'll get there before they do. But that is normally a 311 call or a picture on their app, and they're actually pretty good with that.
311's been really good lately.
Quick, and
I have a question here. Yeah, go ahead.
I have one more question in regards to the Central Park and Horse Arena
Mhm.
improvement.
That's on the other board, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah.
The connection between,
They know about it.
fire and that,
another bridge.
yeah, well, that, besides the bridge, when you walk over, I know that to the right is the arena and all that. Is the left-hand side gonna get addressed? Cause it's like a drop off into the creek and it just gets like deeper and deeper and there's like a chain link fence that's all janky and
So
falling in. I don't
it
know.
took us a while to find out who was responsible for that bridge. We assumed it was Department of Transportation because it's the nexus of the bike trail. It's actually county parks and it's their environmental person. We've reached out to them because the bridge is in bad shape right now, and that's a safety issue. We can, when we reconnect again to see where they've gone with it, I'll ask them about what's north, south there, and that part of land to the left. and see if there's something they can do about it.
Yeah, because it just seems a little dangerous sometimes. Like when there's a wild animal, my dog will drag me over there and I have to make sure we don't go into the creek.
That's
That
good.
was a beautiful area when I was in high school. We used to take photos there for the year, but on the bridge. But it's kind of run down.
It needs some love.
Yeah.
It needs some love. Okay, I think we heard what we needed to hear. Unless there's anything else on the board or any other comments, I can turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you got a hand.
Saw your hand, Steve, up there.
You got one?
You know, somebody talked about learning the parks that we have that nobody knows about. Is there any way we can have some kind of campaign or to let people know that we are not in charge of Gibson Ranch, we are not in charge of the county parks?
We can place that into the activity guide that, and put contact numbers for the county, for both Gibson Ranch and Cherry Island. We don't get as many phone calls about it as we used to. So, and the word's out, but we can definitely put something in the activity guide, when we put it together with a contact of the county. And there's also a contact on our website currently to county parks.
Go ahead, Ann.
We get about 3 phone calls a week on average of people telling us about other parks. So my staff, it does make sure that people are aware that those are not our parks.
What is the main one? Do you know?
Gibson Ranch.
Gibson Ranch. okay.
Gibson Ranch. But
Yes.
maybe a campaign or something, like a flash on the website. Here's our parks, here's what you do if the tree's down, you know, these aren't our parks. that kind of stuff.
Maybe some kind of an educational type brochure.
Well, yeah,
That
or
could
maybe
be-
just when we put out our parks, we can give other parks a shout out.
Right.
So people can look at it and say, oh,
That's what I'm thinking, it's like a 3-part full brochure where we can add our parks and Gibson Ranch and Cherry Island with the appropriate content.
yeah.
Let's get some ranch now.
And those could just be
County
available.
regional parks.
So it's back to being county, 'cause for a
Yeah.
while it wasn't.
Yeah, it was private for a little while, and,
Yeah.
Mr.
No,
Osi
it's
gave up.
leased to the-
It's county regional park.
So probably nobody answers the phone.
Well, we've got a hotline
Doesn't
to
break
the
it
direct.
up to where everybody parks
No,
and
no.
they ride their horses.
That, the whole area
The whole
is
area.
leased to the Dry Creek Ranch. I mean, to the,
Yeah, is that Dry Creek Park over?
it's still Dry Creek Park,
Yeah.
but it's also,
But Gibson Ranch isn't Dry Creek Park over?
yes,
Oh, okay.
and Dry Creek Parkway goes all the way down to Discovery Park.
I just thought it was county.
It is county, it is.
We have another question up here.
I like the idea of people being able to call in about Park and Rec and having that friendly sound of the voice on the phone of, you know, that isn't our department, but I'd be glad to give you the phone number. And it could be simply just in the Park and Rec book of like, and if you'd like to get a hold of Gibson Ranch, here's the phone number. And if you'd like to get a hold, you know, that is a simple way to take care of it. Whenever we have an opportunity to be kind and friendly, it shows really well for the community.
Well, and it is my feeling, and it has been for many, many years, that our park district is the center of communications and public engagement in Rio Linda and Elverta. I just feel like our park district is where everybody reaches out to because they think that this is the place.
It's the
And I love that. I just love that. I think that's wonderful.
It's the place.
It is.
I'm so grateful for our Park and Rec and the job that they do. I specifically just out here, I mean, I'm out there playing pickleball, I have to look out over gorgeous land. That's been well taken care of, so grateful for that.
I think you got a volunteer that could do the phone, right? You're doing great. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's it for me, unless you have anything else, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so future plans, Ben put together with his team and put together the notes from this evening during our main meeting. Calendar will come back to do a presentation with a draft, and make any last minute changes on the draft that are recommended by the board or our residents. And we'll have a final proof for June to be approved.
And maybe it would help, so I'm not reading the whole thing, I'll get it to you a couple of weeks ahead of time, so they can all have time.
Yeah, I'll get it to the board well enough in advance.
Yeah.
And maybe do
We can post it on the website.
a flyer or something like this that we can have available at the community center for people to pick up.
And we can post it up on the website.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for everybody showing up.
Yeah.
Okay, those of you who wish to stay for our regular meeting, you are more than welcome to stay. I mean, we love to look out for new people, it's so rare that we do that. But you don't have to stay. However, we will close our public strategy session at 7 o'clock. Is it 7 o'clock?
6:58.
6:58. And we'll open our